Membership sites are a very good and very profitable business model. If you've ever hung out at an internet marketing forum or spoken to other internet marketers, you will realise that pretty much all of them consider membership sites to be a good thing. They think it's something that is wonderful, something that makes them money, and they do. A good membership site can make you an awful lot of money. You think about it, you have 100 members paying you even say $10 a month. That's $1,000 a month from one site. So you can see it's very, very profitable. And some of these sites, you've got a $40, $50, say $50 a month site with 100 members. That's $5,000 a month in your pocket. Now that isn't bad. That's pretty much a full-time income for many people. So you can see membership sites can very, very quickly become extremely profitable for you. And there's certainly something that you should have in your business portfolio. The real advantage of a membership site is that the buyer becomes actively involved in the sales process. In traditional sales, the buyer purchases, they download the product, and it's bye-bye, see you later, we'll never speak again. You then market to them via email, and they may or may not get involved, open your emails or whatever. With membership sites though, the buyer becomes active because they physically have to come to your site to get their products or their content or whatever it might be. If it's a PLR membership site, once a month they have to log in, or however often they have to log into your site to get your their products. If it's a training program, they have to log in every week or whatever it might be to download the training materials. Now this means that they are actively involved. They're not just sitting there going, well, I've got a book, it's sat on my hard drive, I'll forget about it. They have to come along every month, download the materials and then use them. And of course, because they're logging into your site, you have the opportunity to market to them. They're much more involved, they're much more familiar with you, with who you are, and so on. So the basic principle of a membership site is a buyer joins the site, they become a member, and then you build your relationship with them as sort of an active buyer. That's basically what it is. A membership site could be anything. It could be training materials, it could be social networking group, it could be PLR, it could be absolutely anything. It doesn't matter what it is, it could be anything at all. Anything which lends itself to material being delivered at intervals over a period of time. Now you either have pay a fee, and we'll talk about the different types of fees later on, or they join for free, and again we'll talk about that in more depth. It depends upon the type of business model you're operating as to whether they pay a fee, and if they do, how they pay it, or whether they become a free member. It's an extremely popular and very, very flexible model, and one that frankly so many marketers are using and really, really enjoying the benefits from. If you haven't got any membership sites, then I'd really recommend you watch this video series and seriously consider adding some membership sites to your portfolio. They can provide you with a nice income. Now, this course is going to talk through about membership sites, what they are, how to find content and so on. So we're going to start by telling you why membership sites are so good. We're going to talk about what's good about them, why they're so powerful, why they're such a popular business model. We're going to look at the many different scripts available to you. There's lots and lots of different scripts, and you can look at them and determine which one's for you. Now obviously it depends upon your exact needs. I'm not going to say this is the best script. I'm going to show you a number of different options, and then you can decide from those options which one's best for you, or you may decide something completely different. We're going to talk about how you find a niche as well. We're not going to go into a great deal of depth about picking a niche, because obviously niche research is a subject that's pretty much a training course in itself, and there's lots of other material on it. But we're going to have an overview of finding a niche and what makes a good niche for a membership site. We're going to look at the different formats of a membership site as well, the different ways of presenting the material and so on. So we want to discuss how you can create a variety of different membership sites, all with differing appeal. We're going to talk about content. At the end of the day, your membership site is about content. Without content, no membership site. So we're going to talk about what you can use as content, where to find it, how to create it, what sort of content your potential members are after. We're also going to talk about how to retain members. Now this is very, very important. If you can't retain members, you're going to have a high attrition rate, which means you're constantly working to try and recruit new members, which obviously is no good for you. So we're going to talk about how you retain your members. We're also going to talk about why a free membership can be so very, very profitable for you. Now, a lot of sites will have free membership options, and they have them for a reason, and we'll talk about that in a little while. We're going to talk about traffic. Now, obviously, without traffic, your membership site's dead in the water. So we're going to talk about how you get traffic. Now, obviously, again, we're not going to go into massive in-depth traffic generation study program here. That's elsewhere. There's lots of other material. But we're going to talk specifically about traffic methods for membership sites. And also, and I do think this is very important, we're going to talk about what you need to do in order to make that first month successful. Now, the first month, when people sign up and join, that's the big one. That's where you have the most members unsubscribe and leave. So we're going to talk about what you need to do in order to make that first month super successful for you. And of course, there's going to be lots more in this course. It's going to be full of useful information, so you may want to grab yourself a coffee or a cup of tea, a pen and paper, and sit down and get ready for a really, really good learning experience. Membership sites are a very, very good revenue model. You can earn a lot of money from them, and what's best of all is it could be a recurring income. Now, obviously, a recurring income is extremely good for you, because recurring income is pretty much the internet marketer's equivalent of having a full-time job. It gives you what we can call job security. You know, if you think about it, if I've got my membership site, I've got 100 members paying me $50 a month, that's $5,000 a month. That covers, say, my bills, my mortgage, my taxes, etc., etc., and gives me a degree of freedom that perhaps otherwise I wouldn't have. So membership sites are a very, very good revenue model and very popular because that regular monthly income really, really can give you some job security. The big benefit to you as the marketer is that the buyer becomes actively involved in the sales process. So instead of, as I said, they come to your site, they download the product after they bought, and off they go, you never see them again. They have to come to the site every month or every week or whatever to come and collect their products. So, of course, they're much more involved in the sales process. And because they're coming to your site, you can display login offers and one-time offers and so on to them, which means you can increase your revenue further. So not only are you earning your membership fee, your $5,000, say, a month from your 100 members at $50 a month, but if you display login offers as well, and maybe you change it every week or something like that, you put a new one on there, then of course you can increase your income from that. So a membership site becomes very, very lucrative because of it. And of course, not only can you display login offers to the members that log in, you have a list of qualified buyers, and that list is your members. So if you create a new product or there's a new product on the market, you can mail your list, and then of course some of them will buy. So you're building a list as well as creating a revenue stream. So a fantastic business model, and one that's very, very popular. So you earn from the memberships and from mailing your members other offers and from displaying them login offers and one-time offers on your site. Now, absolutely fantastic way of earning from them, because if you think about it, you're earning from them in multiple ways. How many other businesses do you know where you could do that? Membership sites can also be set completely on autopilot. It's not too difficult for you to set up a membership site, to drip feed the content, to pretty much run itself. People become a member, they sign up, they get their content, new content's delivered to them each month automatically. If they unsubscribe, they're removed from the system automatically. Absolutely fantastic because of that. So, it's a good autopilot business model, and one that you really, really should consider. It provides you with a lot of opportunities to add value through cross promotions, freebies and other gifts. So, there's a lot of opportunity to really give your members a lot of value. Throw in some unexpected bonuses every now and then. Thanks for being a member. You've been a member for 6 months. I have this free gift, that sort of thing. Those sort of things really, really add value. And if they come at random intervals, then you can often find people who stay members for longer because they never know when they're going to get the next great gift. Membership sites also appeal to one of humankind's fundamental needs. We like to be have a sense of belonging. We like to be part of a community, if you like. That's why something like Facebook and MySpace have become so popular. Is people have this need to gather together. Now, years and years ago, and we're talking a long time ago, you'd have called it tribes. People lived in tribes. Nowadays, it's more like football supporters or baseball supporters or basketball team supporters. They're the modern equivalent of tribes. But even outside of sports, people feel the need to be a part of a community. If you think about it, people gather together. Like-minded people always gather together. So in the membership site, you have a gathering of people with a common interest. The common interest being the subject of your membership site. So you can build that community spirit, and you will find that people will develop sort of loyalty towards you and your site, which obviously helps you with your membership retention. But perhaps one of the biggest benefits, and this I think is one of the things that a lot of marketers like, is a membership site gives you control over the access to the material. Now, traditional sales process, I've just sold a big video training course on how to create an information product to someone, and they've gone off, they've bought it, they've downloaded it, 10 minutes later they've refunded. So that's it. I've lost out, I'm out of pocket, they've got my product for free. With a membership site, if they cancel, they lose access to the material in the membership site. So if the material is not downloadable, then they've lost it. Or if it's a case of they've cancelled after 2 weeks, they've only got 2 weeks worth of material and not the entire course. So it gives you a lot of control over their access, and again, that can often help people to retain their membership with you. So membership sites are a good business model, and you do need to really think about them, because you could earn an awful lot from them. So we're going to keep talking about membership sites, now go into some of the sort of the real details about them, what scripts you use, and so on and so forth, so that you can really understand how to get these working. They are a fantastic opportunity, and one of the best reasons affiliates love membership sites with recurring incomes, because it gives your affiliates recurring incomes. So you can often find that you can get a lot of people to promote your membership site if it has a recurring income for the affiliate. So bear that in mind when you're creating the membership site. One of the first choices you're going to have to make is what membership site script do you use. There's lots and lots of them on the market, but which one's the best one for you? Well, unfortunately, this isn't a black and white thing. That I can't say to you that's the best script, because it may not be. The best script depends on a number of different options, and what we're going to do in this video is talk about what the different membership scripts do, what questions to ask, and basically help you, point you in the right direction for choosing a membership script for your site. Now, you've got to really think about this, because you don't want to go out and spend $1,000 say on a membership site script and then go, oh well, it's not really what I wanted. You want to get it right first time, because it's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's bordering on impossible to change your membership site script. Once I've committed and I've got a site running and it's got members on it, if I want to move scripts, it's going to be a headache. It really is. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm probably going to lose members. It's going to cause me all sorts of hassle. So it really is a decision that you want to get right first time. Now, you can find scripts that will cost you nothing, and you'll find scripts that will cost you $5,000 to $10,000. It's up to you which one you use. It depends on a number of factors. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have an idea of what you need to consider when you pick a membership site. The features vary greatly between scripts. I don't want you to sit and think that you've got to buy an expensive script because that's going to have the best features. That's not necessarily the case. What often happens with membership site scripts is if someone's launching a new one, they'll often start at a low price, and then over sort of 6 months to a year, as they add features, they'll increase the price. So features do not determine the price. So you may find that there's some cheap or low value membership site scripts which actually have more features than some of the more expensive ones. Now, just consider that as well. Also, bear in mind that some membership site scripts require you to purchase add-ons. So you buy like the core package. It's like, if you go out and buy a BMW, they basically give you a metal box on 4 wheels, and then you have to add in all the other things you want, like seats and lights and a radio, a CD player, and so on. So some of the membership site scripts are like that. You get the chassis, and then you have to add all the other bits onto it later, which increases the cost. It gives you a lot more flexibility, yes, and you can pick and choose what you want. However, it isn't necessarily going to be the best thing for you. So think about it carefully and weigh up the pros and cons before you go for a script like that. Some of them are very, very good, and there's an awful lot of features on them. But unfortunately, as I said, it can end up costing you a lot of money, because what a lot of people do in that situation is they go, oh, well, I might use that, I'll have that. Well, I might use that, I'll buy that as well. And instead of just buying the bits that they need, they buy all the things that they might need. And of course, that bumps the price right up. So before you can pick a membership site script, you need to understand how you're going to use it. You got that, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to drip feed content? Do you want different levels of membership? Do you want something that runs on autopilot? What do you actually want? You need to understand that before you can truly pick your membership site script. You need to know what features you're going to use right now and in the immediate future on the site that you're considering. Don't sit there and look at features and go, well, I might use that. I don't want it now, but I might use it on another site in the future. I mean, it's up to you, but those sort of things quite often don't pan out, and it gets to the future and you sit there and go, well, I've never used that feature. So quite often that's what really happens. So think about what you can use right now and in the immediate future. But ultimately, you want to buy something that does what you want. Don't go out and buy something because it has bells and whistles and is the latest, greatest thing from the big name guru, whatever they might be called. Buy something that does what you want and it will do you right. That's the most important thing. Does it meet your needs and your requirements? So what questions do you need to ask about a script? Well, obviously you need to have an idea of budget. Can you afford $1,000 for a script? Have you even got a budget? Are you looking for something free? Are you looking for something that will just cost you a couple of $100? How much money can you afford to spend on a script? Bear in mind that the script will obviously be part of the expenses for setting up the site. So, if your scripts cost you $5,000, you're going to have to make minimum of $5,000 before the site becomes profitable. But also, you've also got to consider, again, this comes in the whole budget thing, is it a site license or a single server license? Can you use it on as many servers as you want, or just on one domain? That, again, can influence the budget, because if it's going to cost me $500 to use on as many sites as I want, or $300 to use on one, well, it's a no-brainer to go for the $500 one, because then I can set up multiple membership sites. And that is very, very important to understand. Do you want a single license or a multiple site license? Software such as Amember, for example, tends to be single site license, so you can use it on one domain. Other software such as Launch Formula Marketing, for example, is a multiple site license. You can use it wherever you want on any site that you own. Now, Amember, I think, is a couple of $100. I believe Launch Formula Marketing is either $500 or $1,000. We'll look at that in the next video. But you can see there's a significant difference. But if I'm setting up 5 membership sites, and it's going to cost me $200 a time for Amember, then maybe Launch Formula Marketing isn't too bad, because that's $1,000. For example. So you can see the single and multi-site license does influence your budget. Are you planning on displaying login offers and one-time offers to them? Does the script support the ability to show your buyers and your members different offers? That can affect the profitability of the site quite significantly. How easy is it to use? There's some scripts I've used, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some scripts I've used that, frankly, unless you have a degree in rocket science, you haven't got a hope. You really haven't. There's other ones that your 2-year-old could set up for you. So, how easy is it for you to use? Are you a technically minded person or not? If you're not, then you have to consider the costs of outsourcing installation and setup, and maybe even administration or maintenance or whatever. So you have to consider that as well. That can affect your budget and affect your decision on which script to buy. Do they provide a guarantee period? Is it 30 days, 90 days, a year, a lifetime? Guarantee period can be important, because if you're setting up a site and you're experimenting with a new script, you may want 3 or 4 months to look at it in order to say, well, I've had to play and it's not quite right for me. Dreadfully sorry, can I have my money back? And they'll honour it. But the last thing you want is for it to be a 30-day money-back guarantee, and life happens as it does, and it's 2 months before you get to look at it, and then you go, well, it doesn't do what I want it to do, and then you ask for a refund. They go, well, 30 days is up, tough, bye. Make sure the guarantee period is suitable for you and your needs. What support do you get? Now, some of these scripts will offer good support, others not so good. Some of them do fantastic support through forums and have a big user community, and the user community does a lot of support. So consider the level of support, and is it through a help desk, is it through forums, are you in touch directly with the programmers, or are you speaking to a marketer and the programmers are sort of hiding behind him somewhere? So think about the level of support you get for the script. Another influencing factor that again can influence your choice of budget is, are lifetime upgrades free or not? Now again, I'm coming back to the same two scripts because I know them very well. Amember doesn't provide you with lifetime upgrades. I think it's either 6 or 12 months of upgrades, and after that you have to pay, and you pay for a further 6 months worth of upgrades. Now that's all well and good, but you may or may not want the upgrades. If you don't, it's not a problem. But if they bring out new features, you think, great, I can use that on my site, and you've got to pay for it, then you're going to be a bit annoyed. Now, other ones like Launch Formula Marketing provides lifetime upgrades for free. Many of the others do. So you've got to understand, are the upgrades going to be free or cost you money? Remember, before you install any upgrades, though, do you actually need it? Don't just go installing them, because who knows what's going to happen. But do you need them? Make sure that you understand this. Another good question to ask yourself is, how long has the script been around? Is it something that somebody created last week, or is it something that's been around for years? Something that's been around for a long time. Amember's been around for quite a while. Launch Formula Marketing, I think that's been around 3 or 4 years. And many of the others, they have that long-term backing, so it's going to be there. It's good. It's solid and reliable. But other scripts, you may be a bit wary. Are you going to find that the company goes under in the next 6 months, or the marketer decides not to continue supporting it any further? You just don't know. But you do need to understand how long it's been there, because again, that could be an influencing factor. It can affect your choice quite significantly. One thing you may or may not want is, can it drip feed content? Will the only way it gives you content is you have to go in each month and set up a web page and upload the content, and there it all is? Or can you drip feed the content automatically over a 6 or 12 month period? If you can, it puts your business on autopilot, which of course is a wonderful, wonderful thing. How easy is it for you, not for anyone else, but for you personally, to install, set up, administrate, use, add products to, add new members to, etc., etc. If you're not technically minded, you may find that the script is difficult to install. Now, there's a couple of scripts that I've looked at, and frankly, I am technically minded. I'm very good with computers. I've been using them for more years than I care to remember. I know them pretty much inside out. I know scripts and software, etc., etc. And there's some scripts which I cannot install and get working properly, and it's an absolute nightmare. Some of them, the instructions are dreadful. Some of them, they're just badly written. But there are others. There's one in particular I can think of that I click 2 buttons and it's like magic. It's installed, and ready to use. So think about that. Can you do it yourself, or do you need to outsource it? Can you offer different levels of membership? Can you do free, silver, gold, and platinum? That sort of thing. You may or may not want to have different levels of membership. You may just have one level, but you may want to have the option of providing different levels. You may have a membership site now where you just have the one level, but you may think, well, in 6 months' time, what I can do is I can add an extra level for advanced members, or an advanced training course or something like that. This is the other thing as well, is can members easily upgrade their membership from between the different levels? I can't remember which script it is off the top of my head, but I remember there was one script where the only way to get a member to upgrade their membership was for them to cancel their membership and then rejoin at the higher level. That sort of thing, that could cause problems, because the members are going to go, well, that's a lot of hassle. They don't understand some of the technical limitations that require it to be that way. But can members upgrade their membership relatively easily? You do need to consider that. Can the script handle recurring billing? Now, not all membership site scripts can, because a membership site isn't necessarily based around recurring billing. That is just one of the potential models. Does it provide support for a free membership option? That's very important too. Can people join your site for free? We'll talk about free members very, very shortly, but they can provide an excellent way to rapidly build a list of people who are interested in your site. How well does the script protect your content from theft? The last thing you want is for all your content to be wide open, that anyone with a search engine can type in a few keywords and there's all your valuable content available for free. That's the last thing you want. Does it protect your content from sharing? Can I share out my password with lots of people, or publish it on one of the Wares or other black hat sites so that everybody can use my password in order to access your content? You've got to understand how well it protects your content. Does it plug into other scripts you plan to use? Are you planning on using, I don't know, PHPBB or another forum or something like that? Does your membership site plug into it? Will it automatically create members? Will it secure the forum from outside nosiness, etc., etc.? These are all questions you need to know. And perhaps one of the most important is, will it work with your web host? Now, some scripts are very funny about which web host they'll work with. I can think of one in particular that if you don't go for the owner's web hosting, you've got no chance of getting it working. Absolutely no chance. There's others that will pretty much work anywhere, and they can work, as I said, literally on any web host. So you've got to understand, does it need curl or Zend or anything like that? If so, does your web host support it, or are you going to need to get a new web host? Again, that's a massively influencing factor for you. Now, you need to consider all of these questions, and you may well have more questions of your own when you set up your own membership site. What script you're going to choose, I cannot tell you. Hands up, I cannot tell you what's the best script for you. What I can do is give you the advice here on which questions to ask and how to evaluate a script. And in the next video, I'll show you a half dozen or so different scripts that you can look at, and different scripts that you may want to say, well, yeah, that's for me, that's not for me. So we're going to look at that now. But write out what you want from your script. Answer all the questions we've asked here. Write it all out, and then look through the different scripts and decide which one's the best one for you. So what I want to do now is just show you. I'm not going to show you the scripts. We're just going to go to sort of the main sales pages, and you can have a look through there. Most of them provide working demos or videos of the inside or something like that. So we're going to go and have a look at some of the scripts now to give you an idea of some of the more popular and effective scripts that are out there.